Good morning. My name is State Senator Kathy Breen, and I have the great good fortune of representing the town of Gray in the state Senate. I also represent Yarmouth, Cumberland, Falmouth, half of Westbrook, Long Island, and Chebeague Island. And we're here this morning because the AARP of Maine has a wonderful presentation for folks who may be victims of scams or frauds. And the presentation you're about to see is about how to avoid being victimized. And it's a very, very rich presentation full of good information, and I hope you will enjoy it. If you have any follow-up questions afterwards, you can certainly reach out to the Maine AARP. You could also give me a call. I'm at 329-6142. And of course, if you have any concerns that you're being defrauded, the first thing you should do is reach out to local law enforcement. And they have highly trained, great folks who know how to deal with these things. If you even suspect that you might be a victim of fraud or a scam on the phone, the internet, through the mail, anything at all, be sure to reach out to local law enforcement. So I'm going to turn the mic over to a volunteer for the AARP, lives in Yarmouth. His name is Phil Chin, and I thank Phil for coming today and offering us his time and expertise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Breen. I'm going to start by asking people, how do you know if this is a scam or not? I'll introduce myself. My name is Phil Chin. I'm with the AARP Fraud Watch. But how do you know this is not a scam? Can you tell me whether this is a scam or not? I have the shirt. I have the proper television picture there. I have my ID tag. I have my smile. I have your attention. This is a recognized municipal building. How do you know this is not a scam? Well, because you trust Senator Breen. You trust what you read in the newspapers. You trust what you see on the internet. You've done your homework. That's why you're here. But many people don't have that opportunity when that phone rings or there's a knock on the door, do they? And therefore, we're here to make sure that you do not become victims, the scammed. We want you to become fraud fighters and join the AARP Fraud Watch Network. Simple as that. And we have a little agenda here that I want you to look at. And we're going to talk about fraud trends and behavior, the con artist playbook, practice spotting fraud, prevention, and resources. And the first resource is to come to little talks, little discussions such as we're having right now. And if there's any questions you have, please hold them till the end, and we'll take as much time as we need to go over and make sure that you're confident enough to go forth and not be scammed. Did you know is a good question that I'm going to ask a lot. Did you know how many people get scammed by ID fraud? Did you know that? That ID theft is the leading scam in Maine. Did you know that debt collection by imposters is the second leading scam? And did you know that the third leading scam in Maine is phony or deceptive banking and lending? Did you know that over 21 million people, $21 million people lose over 18 billion? Do the math. In the US, someone's identity is stolen every 2 seconds. Every 2 seconds. Sometimes you can't help your ID being stolen, but we're going to tell you how you can make sure that if a social security number is leaked or other piece of personal ID information is out there, we can tell you that by instituting something like a credit freeze, and in the state of Maine that is free, a credit freeze, you can almost stop most ID theft involving your credit history cold. Stop it dead in its tracks. I have a sheet here that's produced by AARP that talks about instituting a credit freeze. Who here knows about a credit freeze already? Okay, fair enough. Credit freeze means that you will tell your credit company, whether it be Experian, and it probably is, or Equifax, or TransUnion, to not allow anybody at all to access your credit information. And you can do that for free. The state of Maine passed a law recently, and we thank Senator Rodney Whitmore for that, for sponsoring the legislation. And by calling them once, you can put a freeze on for as long as you want. And in case you have to take an opportunity that presents itself sometimes at a department store or at your car dealership, and they have to do a credit check, well, you can do that simply by calling them and unfreezing your credit report. So take the sheet, it has the telephone numbers for Experian and TransUnion and Equifax, and gives you very clear instructions how to do it. Other states are not as lucky as the state of Maine. It's $10 a freeze. But here in the state of Maine, it is free. Quite a bargain. And you will find that you can really rest and sleep well at night knowing that you've turned on the credit freeze. Any questions? Okay, thank you. This is Gene. You've won the lottery. Oh, by the way, did I entice anybody to come here today by saying you can collect your $500,000 prize if you showed up today? Anybody? Well, I didn't offer that, so this is probably not a scam. Jean was called by somebody in Jamaica and said she won millions and millions of dollars. And all she had to do was send in a pittance, a small amount of money to cover the taxes. Well, Jean did that. $30,000 later, she still has yet to see her millions and millions in lottery winnings. Okay? So, do not fall for the lottery scam. So let's look at what con artists like to do. And we call it the con artist playbook.
If you don't want to make up your mind right now, that's where I come in. I will make up your mind for you.
Anyway, I said I would not call unless it was a rare and definitely undervalued situation. Are you familiar with the $2.50 Gold Indian Series?
This is enough money for you to go to your grave knowing that you went and did the right thing, and you can go and meet God with a clear conscience. Now, what do you want to do?
Are you stupid? I'm not trying to insult you, but are you mentally ill? Is there something wrong with you that I don't know about? Is there something physically wrong with you? Like, are you retarded? Are you overage? Do you forget things? Is there something wrong with you?
Oh, you don't want to pick the phone up. Who the are you talking to on the phone? Hang the phone up on those guys and pick the phone up while I'm calling you. And stop the with me. Well, will you come over again and set your phone fire?
You'll never, ever be anything. You're going to your grave a loser. A big loser. I think you're terrible.
The AARP Fraud Watch Network went to the jails where these people now reside and made interviews. They took recordings of some of these people at work. And you notice that they're not necessarily Rhodes Scholars, but they're very good at what they do. And what they do is separate you from your wallet. They're after your money. Remember, I asked you, how do you know this is not a scam? Because one of the things I'm not going to do is try to separate you from your wallet. I'm not going to ask for money. Maybe I'll promise you, hey, if you showed up today Maybe you'll get a bag of 1873 gold coins. Very rare. Sit through my talk and you will get that. I did not do that. So this is not a scam. This is for real. That's one of the things you should have. An antenna, a sense for what is right and what is too good to be true. If something is too good to be true, you're being scammed. So these guys believe that intimidation, fear, is a good thing for them. Remember, poor Jean was badgered with hundreds of calls so that she could cough up that $30,000.
These are dangerous people you are on the phone with. Okay? Make no bones about it. I am a dangerous person on the telephone. If I choose to be fraudulent in my practices, there is nothing that's going to stop me from taking lots of money from people, period, the end. And there are many other people just as dangerous as me.
Meet Joe, a boiler room pro. $60 million he has scammed from people. Over 8 years, that's all it took. This guy is great. He's terrific. But he's in front of a camera. That means he wasn't that smart. He got caught. He's a con. But remember what he said. He's dangerous. Dangerous. Why is he dangerous? Because he will separate you from your wallet. He'll take your money and you'll never see it again. And how does he do that? He does that by putting people in under an ether, what's called a heightened emotional state. That's the secret to scamming people. Getting them in such a state of mind that, of course you should have my money. Of course I should go and buy all these gift cards and then give you the serial numbers. Hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. Or maybe I should just send you this money order. Why? Because they're afraid that they may be sent to jail. They're afraid that they may miss out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in phony lottery winnings. They're afraid that their grandson may rot away in some godforsaken hellhole if they don't come through with the $5,000 to get them out of trouble. They feel they're doing the right thing. When you're under the ether, you know no wrong or right. You just know what you have to do.
The crush or the kill is emotionally driven. It's not logic. If you apply logic to this concept, it's no. I'm not going to send you my hard-earned money. I don't even know who you are. I know you from Adam. When I wrap that in tons of emotion, that blurs. The logic goes out the window. The emotion kicks in. Now I've endeared you to me. Now I'm no longer the predator on the phone. I'm Jim from New York.
Jimmy, did you hear what Jimmy said in the beginning? The crush, the kill. It's as if he's a hunter, and he is a hunter. And his trophy is your wallet. Jimmy, he's good, but he's not that good. But he's so endearing. Look at that guy. He can talk you out of your, well, I won't say that, but he can talk you out of your money. He will part with your money, and he may even say thank you. But certainly he will have no remorse, ever. This guy is a con, as all people on the other end. Remember, why do we have a Fraud Watch network? Because there's a network of fraudsters out there that have to work on you. Why are we so susceptible to this? Because we're nice people. We want to do the right thing. We want to help people. We hang around, and yes, we'll pick up the phone because sometimes it's good to have a conversation. All right? Sometimes it's good to be nice to people. Or sometimes, hey, I have an opportunity to make a lot of money. If someone came up to you and said, hey, here is a chance to win $25,000 and you can clear up all of your debt problems, but you have to do it right now. Wouldn't you do it? Of course you'd do it. But think about it. Is that the right way to do it? No, because now you're under the ether. You have to get out of the ether, step back, talk to somebody. Talk to your spouse. Talk to your friend. Talk to your neighbors and say, hey, did you get a call from the IRS saying that? Right? Or did you get a call from somebody saying, if you don't fix this problem with the sewer here, you're going to have big problems in your basement. And all your neighbors' basements, because you live in a condo, you're attached to all the other units. So, caution, speed. Caution, speed. They work against each other. Forget about the speed. Take the caution. So the tactics that are used by the con artists, they're in their playbook. These are persuasion tactics. How do they persuade you in giving up your money? The promise of phantom riches, the promise of money. Profiling. You know, I understand that your grandson, who went to school here, is at A, and he's in trouble. Can you help out your grandson? How did they get that information? Well, probably from you, or probably from Facebook, or some social outlet. So profiling is kind of a skill that con people use, and once they get you on the phone, you provide a lot of the information. They will ask you questions. And when people start asking you questions, and you're not asking many questions, you're just answering, you might be in trouble. You might be the target of a scammer right then and there. Scarcity, as I told you about the opportunity to get in on the opportunity of a lifetime. Coins, oil, stocks. Do it fast. Do it really, really fast. Otherwise, your neighbor might end up with it, or your buddy might end up. You don't want that to happen. I can only make this offer to you. Source credibility. Hi, I'm so-and-so from the FSA Finance Group. And you've heard of the FSA Finance Group, haven't you? We've been in the news on CNBC. We're good people, and we've got an investment that you will always, always never regret investing in. How can you not? How can you refuse? And then there's always the good old fear and intimidation. Don't pay me and I'll come over and break your legs. And it's happened, by the way. People have been pushed and pushed, and they'll say all kinds of things, as we'll hear. How about, if you don't pay me, I'm going to come down and burn down your house. Well, that's happened too. Okay. If you don't pay, I'm going to throw you in jail and throw away the key. That happens too. Let's talk about phantom riches just for a bit. Everybody knows about phantom riches. Lotteries, all kinds of money that's been held by some kind of lawyer that you've inherited from some kind of relative in a country that you didn't even know existed. But there it is. Or how about winning a lottery that's you've never heard of, because foreign lotteries are illegal to win here in this country. But Florida lottery, that's different. Join the club. You win. And talk about profiling. If you don't mind my asking, you hear that? You should just run away. Hang up the phone and run away. And I like to let me ask you something. Okay? Sounds like you've got a good home there. And they know where you live. Of course, everybody has a nice home there. So what about, let's work on that mortgage of yours. And the scarcity factor. When I was younger, I used to go for all those scarce things. I've got a lot of coins that are scarce. Rare. Would you like to buy some? Cheap. And as Mr. Senior Vice President and Miss Senior Vice President, we've got the right product for you. And the good old fear and intimidation. Once I get hold of the victim, I would never let go. Even when I know they've got no money. We have examples of very intelligent people, giving up tens and tens of thousands of dollars because they were afraid of what? Refusing some unknown voice on the phone? No. Maybe disappointing their loved one because they didn't follow through on the opportunity to do what they had to do. They were afraid of the wife, the husband. Who has received any of those seasonal scam examples that we have out there? Who's received that call from the IRS? Okay, fair enough. What about sweetheart scam, sir?
Hi, I'm, I was, that person you met at the bar, that last business trip.
You never know, right? Charity scams, that's a very popular one. Hi, I'm with the Benevolent Association, and we are making a fund drive in your neighborhood. Would you like to make sure that you contribute to the Benevolent Association? People associate that with the police, but it's not true. And the grandparent scam and the charity scams. But the grandparent scam is very, very tricky because do you want to let your grandson down, your granddaughter down? Do you want to do that? How can you, by the way, don't tell your son that his son or daughter is in trouble. Okay? So that keeps it in the family. So when that money gets sent down there, when that iTunes card gets sent down there, nobody knows. So what do? You have to call and find out, hey, son, is grandson down so-and-so in trouble? No, he's here in the next room, is what you'll usually find out, okay? Most of these things, all of these things work because there's some fear, you're in the ether, and there's always this drive to want to do the right thing. I've got to do the right thing, and that's why I'm going through this crazy, harebrained scheme that's going to result in a loss of money and my wallet. So, how do you recognize a scam? Well, thank goodness for the Fraud Watch Network. If you check the Fraud Watch Network on our website, you will get the latest scam information. If you talk to people in the Fraud Watch Network, we have a telephone number, and they will help you. They have live people. They'll talk to you, and you can report scams, and they'll talk to you about what's going on in your life.
Hi folks, I'm Adam West. Oh, I wish I'd had one of these in the old cave. It's called EasyLink, and it's from Pantheon Holdings, your business opportunity leaders. EasyLink is a public access internet terminal, and soon you could be seeing them everywhere. They provide all these services and products, and they could all spell profit for you. I never carried half that stuff in my old belt. Give EasyLink a call right now, and tomorrow you'll get the full info kit plus the money report on DVD. EasyLink sets it all up and helps you find the best locations. EasyLink could be your ticket to the good life. You don't need to be a superhero to be super successful. This could be the ultimate turnkey operation for you. For your free info kit, give the folks at EasyLink a call right now.
So what can possibly be wrong with that commercial? We all recognize that person, I hope. Did I hear Batman? Yes, Batman. That's Adam West, the actor who played Batman. So how can he be involved with anything that is not above board? It's a great idea. Just a few years ago, you could go and invest in something like that, and people can reach the internet no matter where they are, just like in a telephone booth. That's a great idea. Adam West, Batman. So what do you think was the tactic used in this obvious scam? Right. His standing as an actor. His standing as an actor who played a good guy, Batman. But that was Joe's ad that resulted in millions and millions of dollars of people being scammed. That was not anything real. That was just a prop. And here he is, a paid spokesman. And Adam West is not responsible for that. But here he is, convincing people to invest in something as bad as that. So you have to do your homework. You cannot rely, say, I trust Adam West. Well, maybe. Not a bad actor. Just a poor choice of bosses. There it is. How do you prevent from getting scammed? One of the things is, the most important thing and most easiest thing to do is one word for it. It's called no. Right? When someone is ready to make the crush, make the kill, and ask you for the money, no. Someone's on the phone, you don't recognize it, him or her, no. So it's a just say no campaign, okay? And remember, it does take, how should I say, inner strength to say no. You think you're rude. You think you're being a bad person, but you're not. Because remember, on the other end of that telephone, on the other end of that computer, bad people. They're all bad people. And I hope I'm not offending anybody who's related to any kind of scammer out there, but they're bad people. So, what do cons agree on? The victims, they get excited easily. They don't even consider why it's a scam. It can't be a scam. It's true. They don't ask questions. You've got to ask questions. Who are you? What is the reason you're calling me here? Blah, 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 blah. If the other person's asking more questions and is trying to milk you for information, then you know you're in trouble. Yellow light, red light, no, goodbye. And if you don't read the information that's given to you, that can be bad. We just got a thing in the mail. Come on out, free dinner, good restaurant. We won't ask you to pay for anything. We're not going to sell you anything. So I said, what is going on? You look, this little tiny print says something, something fire alarm company. And it turns out these people make okay fire alarms. And they're not going to sell you any fire alarms that day. The next day, they're going to come over and knock on your door and try to sell you a fire alarm that's probably 300% above market value. So you still have to watch out for something that almost is legitimate. Get out of the ether if you're under the ether. And never make a decision when you're in that ether. Always ask more questions. Always be curious about why am I so lucky? Why am I the person that you're calling to bestow all this wealth upon me? The internet is a great thing. Google is wonderful. Okay, if you have a problem with a telephone number, say, I don't know that number. Keeps calling. Get on your computer, Google that telephone number. If you Google it, you will get the information that's needed. Usually it's some kind of weird number that's being sold and sold and sold and not attached to something medical center. Has nothing to do with it. Okay? Important. Don't let the salesperson control you. Don't let the bad guy be in charge. Easiest way to do this, avoidance. I'm telling people, I don't want to live like a hermit. I like to pick up the telephone and talk. But you can't. You really can't. Because people have problems saying no. Sometimes we come up with a rehearsal, a refusal script. Put it right by the telephone and says, and you can be polite about it. No, I am sorry, I can't talk to you, I can't do that. Goodbye. That's it. And have that script by your telephone. Now, what can you do to protect your Social Security number and personal information? Well, don't carry it around in your pocket. Don't give it out to people. Even medical offices. Did you know medical offices do not have to have your Social Security number? Okay? They need the Medicare information off your Medicare card, which happens to be your Social Security number. But that's it. People who ask for your Social Security number don't have the right to it, usually. Look at your bills every month. I know it's tough. It's a pile of paper out there. Make it simpler. Go electronic, and you can see everything that you need. Review your credit reports every 4 months. They're free. And turn on that credit freeze. Turn it on, turn it on. I turned my credit freeze on after, I believe, an insurance company, major insurance company, had a breach. And lots of numbers got out there. So now I know that my Social Security's out there, number for sale. So the first thing I did was freeze my credit report. And assume that, by the way, your Social Security number has been breached, whether it be breached by data hackers or just somebody, look at that Social Security number, and they just sell it. Simple as that. Protect your PINs and passwords. You can always try to get a password better than 1234 or ABCD, and try to use some of the new software that's out there that will lock up your credit, lock up your passwords, or change your passwords, or find password systems where the company has to call you on your cell phone, your smartphone, to verify that you're the person trying to sign on. All kinds of good things to do. And it says credit or debt. Now it's very easy to say, credit or debt. If you had a choice between your credit card or your debit card, the answer is always use your credit card. Why? Because your debit card is linked directly to your checking, your savings, or whatever. The credit card is linked to a credit card company who's responsible for protecting you as much as possible, and there are limits of usually $50 or even no liability whatsoever. And there you go. Protect your information online. Don't go clicking willy-nilly on all kinds of things you shouldn't be clicking on. Okay? Simple as that. I know. We're going to be hermits, electronic hermits if we don't watch it, but with a little care, you'll be fine. Protect your mail. Opt-outs, 8885 opt-out. That will help you make sure that you can control all that stuff that comes in via the mail system. And the do not call registry still works, but you have to keep at it to be truly successful because there are so many loopholes and so many exceptions. You'll still get the calls. And always double check everything. Always verify your charities. Always do what needs to be done to make sure that you feel comfortable when you sign over your hard earnings. Remember, these people feel that you're just easy pickings. You're just there for them. Easy. They're sitting somewhere, maybe even in a better tropical climate than we are. All they want to do is get your money. Here's some information and advice from our friends at the Maine Fraud Prevention Alliance. Dash fraud. Delete unsolicited emails. Ask for permits from door-to-door salespeople. Shred sensitive documents. And hang up on unsolicited calls. Dash. And these are fantastic, great state resources here in the state of Maine. Our Maine Attorney General's Office, our Maine Bureau of Consumer Credit and Protection, our Maine Office of Securities, and of course, AARP Maine. And by the way, if you need it, it's all in here, right in this book. All of this information. Please pick one up before you leave. Thank you. And go to the net and look at AARP.org Fraud Watch Network, where you can get the latest. I've signed up, and every Wednesday, I believe, I get a bulletin from the network. Remember, it does take a huge network of us to be fraud fighters. You should not be afraid. You should not feel that you're going to be victimized. You are going to be a fraud fighter. And if you take that attitude, that you're going to be positively sure that you will see fraud and you will stop fraud. It takes a neighborhood watch to stop fraud. You can't do it all alone all the time. So I'm open for questions right now. I thank you for being a fantastic audience.
Thank you, Phil. I hope this has been an informative presentation for the good folks of Gray, and I hope you'll share this information with your friends, neighbors, loved ones, and help be, as Phil said, a fraud fighter. Phil is a volunteer with the AARP, so I'm very grateful for his time today. He's not only given us his time, he's done a lot of training and does this presentation all over our communities in southern Maine. So thank you very, very much, Phil. I appreciate it. And just keep in mind that if you need to get to some of these state agencies that Phil mentioned, the Attorney General's office, even the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Again, I'm at 329-6142. And one of my jobs that I do and enjoy is helping constituents navigate the bureaucracies, whether they're at the state, local level, county level. And so if you want some more help from the state of Maine or even from the town of Gray, please don't hesitate to pick up the phone. So now this has been recorded. If you have a computer, you can share it electronically with folks. And I hope it's been helpful. Thank you, and have a great day.